listening to the Budget Overland podcast, where we talk everything overlanding, have guests on regularly, and even have a bonus show on Mondays called Overland Shenanigans, which it's like it sounds, a bunch of shenanigans. Stick around, see who's on today's episode. Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Budget Overland Podcast. I'm your host, Benji, and in studio, I've got a familiar name, Captain Colin with Overlanding Overland.
That's
Colin,
right, friends. Captain Colin in the house.
So, we've had you on, well, we've tried this before, and I forget what episode that even was, but it was horrible. And so this is called the makeup show for Colin. I told him we'd do that because it was like the worst podcast in the history of podcasts. It was like,
yeah, everybody was sick and hungover.
Yeah, I was just like, we were trying to, I guess we forced it. It is what it is, live and learn. So, you've had a lot more content in the last few months since you've been on, and we've got a lot to talk about, and it'll be more.
Don't we ever?
So what's new with you, man? For those of you guys that don't know, he's got a YouTube channel, and I don't want to call it like slapstick or, he pokes a little fun towards the whole overland thing, which is cool, because the whole name Overland is, it is what it is. We've all got our own interpretation.
It's become redundant.
It's a little bit like too much, but anyway, I can't, I'm the guy too, I got Budget Overland. There we go. So I don't know. I've coined the term too. I'm using it too. So anyway, what have you been up to, Captain Colin?
I've been really going hard with the YouTube. I've been going out every week and releasing an episode once a week. Really trying to get to a point where I can just live off of camping.
Yeah. And how long have you, just to remind everyone, how long have you been doing YouTube?
I've been doing it since summer of 2020.
Summer of 2020. How many videos do you think you've got out there?
Long form, I think I'm up to about 70, and short form, 50.
Wow. And you're consistently doing one a week. How long have you been doing the one a week from the beginning? Not since the beginning. I was kind of like just sporadically when I felt like it. But since I went out with Sean, the story till now, I've been putting out an episode once a week. Cool. Has that worked out for you? You feel like you're gaining traction, keeping it consistent?
Yeah, gaining traction, getting sponsorship deals finally. I had 2,000 subs somehow. I'm not going to complain.
Nice. It's so funny how that algorithm, and I don't even, people throw that out there all the time, algorithm. Like the podcast world, there is a certain algorithm because you have to go to Apple to leave a review for me in order for it to push the show. You can't do it on Spotify or anything else. It's weird how it's triggered by the listens, per listen.
Yeah, it's all with the viewer.
Yeah, and it goes through this thing. So like YouTube is like you watch hours, and then the subscribers, that helps push. And then people commenting on the videos, that helps push it. So it's just so goofy, all the little things that we take advantage of as the watcher, because a lot of times I think people are just watching TV, so they forget to hit the like, they forget to hit the subscribe. So I mean, just to remind everyone out there, when you're watching someone's videos, if you like it, hit the thumbs up, and if you're really liking it, subscribe. It really helps.
If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down button.
Yeah, anything helps. So anyway, so with your videos, are you changing it up on how you're, because you're really good at writing out your material, I feel like, and then it tells a cool story, or you're just following along with whatever silliness you come up with for the show. It's easy to track. So are you playing around with that, or you're keeping it kind of...
Yeah, so since the last time we talked, beforehand, I would just do a few, a few recordings of me, vlogging and be funny, and then I would just, do, a music video in between the talking bits. And then since I've been out with Sean, I've, picked up a few things off of him. So during, the driving shots or the scenery shots, I do, a voice radio over of us talking on the walkie, so it's more engaging.
Yeah. Another thing that, the rear diff exploded or whatever. Did it explode or just
Oh
Tell
yeah, it
us about.
grenaded itself. I blew spider gear right into
And
pieces.
that was on the trip with Sean,
Yeah, it was.
of all things. And I'm sure you were just like, really? This happened right now?
Hey, it makes
And
for good content.
it did. I mean, yes, I was entertained that you actually still, did your
I was
trip.
kind of choked that a Jeep had like dragged my ass around the woods.
You had plenty of, yeah, you were good though. But that kind of forced you for the next month or so to come up with a different style of content because you were riding around with different rigs or
Yeah,
showcasing
exactly.
rigs.
So I was like doing like the first video I did was with Crimson Off Road. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. But I was trying to play around with how to make content without a vehicle, so I decided to start doing these ridiculous review videos. And the first one did pretty good, but retention kind of dropped after I said that it was a 4-cylinder, but you pop the hood's a V6, and people just didn't take me seriously and like clicked off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hit or miss, but I was kind of like, how's he going to do content if he doesn't have a rig? And you did. I think all of the episodes you did, it kind of showcased different styles of overland or off-road vehicles, different camping setups. I thought it was still entertaining. It's not like you just pieced out, but I think it kind
Yeah,
of,
like last year when my transmission blew up, I didn't really release anything except for like the 4 Tuareg episodes.
yeah. What, tell us, like, go back before even YouTube, like, what was your draw to, like, the off-roading camping style? I mean, was it always in there and like in your family or within you?
Yeah,
or?
it was all like in my family. Like when I was growing up back in the east coast of Canada in Nova Scotia, we would always go camping every summer at my grandmother's trailer, like RV park. So I'd always be camping like nonstop all summer. And since I moved to the west coast, I did the whole city slicker thing for about 10 years, and I just got sick and tired of living in the city. So I moved away and like bought a 4x4 and like started camping again. That's
Cool.
only been happening since the last 7 years.
Nice. There's just something about, just getting away from, the hustle and bustle and the people, it's just, it
You
kind
gotta
of
get
goes
away
back
from the
to our,
crackheads too. They're out of control in every city.
it is. Yeah. We, fortunately enough where we live, there's like meth heads and stuff like that, but it's like, I don't know, the junkies and the all that stuff we don't have a lot of that I'm aware of. But they're yeah, they all come in waves, I guess. I don't know, it just depends on where you're at. But yeah, just to escape the madness. I like the wheeling aspect. A lot of people don't like the wheeling aspect. They just like
It's like, what am I going to break this time?
Yeah, to a point, because I'm on IFS, so it's like on 33s, so I've got to kind of baby my rig, but some people might think I'm a little bit harder on it than, they would anticipate. I don't know. It's just finding your groove, your sweet spot, I guess, for wheeling and being comfortable.
Yeah, that's right. And then you got Malcolm for Crimson Off Road. That's wheeling on IFS and 37s.
See, I don't understand that. There's a lot of cutting that had to go on, I'm sure, but
No, he just got
I
a
don't.
6-inch lift. It's just he did break a
Okay.
CV one of the times we went out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he probably had a front locker too, huh?
Yeah, he had it engaged and went full lock, and it blew right up.
Yeah. It'll happen. I lifted a buddy's rig. It was a F-150, and he ended up doing like a leveling kit kind of style lift on it. So it wasn't a suspension lift. It was just kind of it is what it is. But it would bind his CV axles, and he went through like 2 or 3 just within like a week and a half, 2 week. And there was, off-roading involved and everything. But after that, he's like, you know what, let's do this right. So he ordered some actual suspension, front coils and all that jazz to where it
all the
rides
fun
better,
stuff.
handles better. Yeah. So people, it's live and learn stuff. What has been kind of your favorite thing about the YouTube? Or is there a favorite
The
thing?
favorite
Is it the
thing,
creating?
yeah, it's the creating, like going out and camping and like trying to film an episode and tell a story, even though like I'm not sure if you've noticed personally, but I kind of try to make it like a sitcom, so it's kind of fake, but not really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like it's
I can get
happening,
that.
but Yeah.
I think you have to watch enough of them to understand it. I think if you just kind of came into your channel and watched one episode, you might be confused. It's kind of like me. If I talk to, make a joke on Facebook or whatever, some people are like, why is this guy, whatever? Why is he that way? And then once you get to know that person, then they're like, oh, yeah, he's just a really funny person. It took me a while to get there.
No, I'm just funny looking.
Well, that's why podcasts help me out. No, so I've got, I don't know, I call them my adventure videos, because we used to post a bunch of our podcast on our YouTube channel, and I'm experimenting with the reboot and everything as trying to keep the podcast and my adventure videos separate. So whenever you go to the channel, and I understand like the playlist and all that stuff, but I'm asking you as somebody that probably knows more about, should I start a separate YouTube channel just for podcasts, or should I continue to upload them on my current platform? Like, is there something
with
that
YouTube? YouTube wants to take over the whole video streaming thing. So I would just post everything on there, because like you can upload just a podcast, but I'm not sure if you can do it with the amount of subs you have. I think you have to like reach a certain amount to upload the podcast.
Okay,
I'm not too sure on that one.
Would it be just audio, or would I have to do it with a video?
Well, you'd probably just like do your voice recordings, and then just make a video with one picture and drag it across the whole podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've talked to a couple people, and they've reached out to me like, "Hey, how come you're not doing this?" And I'm trying to. I've been doing a lot of things lately differently. So, for the X, Y, and Z people that want to still listen to the show, I didn't know if it'd be best to like start a new channel just for podcasts, or incorporate them still. I don't know how that would work with the algorithms and all that stuff. I guess a watch hour is a watch hour, or a view's a view.
Yeah, it is. It'll just help your channel as itself. It'll just be like, or you could just like make a separate channel that's just your podcast, and then link them.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to play with that more often. Like I said, I've been real busy with everything else.
Yeah, life does tend to
talk about. Yeah, it does. I mean, with the whole, we got all this stuff in the background I've been working on. So,
well,
what do you want to talk about?
Well, you are Mr. Budget Overland, so let's talk about how people can save money on overlanding.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So I just recently released a video on how to make a propane tank mount holder.
Nice. I saw that.
Yeah, so a lot of the companies out there, like, it's cheaper stateside because we have to pay that U.S. exchange tax when it gets to Canada, but like all those tank holders are anywhere between $200 to $500 on the Canadian side, which doesn't make any sense if you're buying like a $70 tank and you have to buy a $500 mount to mount your tank.
Yeah.
So I showcase on how to actually build one for under $100, or probably $70 for US.
And this is where like the hang up is, I think, with a lot of people, because they see, a lot of YouTubers or Instagrammers like their gear, and they just want that gear because they see it, like an impulse. But I think like if you were you needing is it a 5-gallon tank or 5?
It's a 10-pound tank.
Okay. And were you like, I need to mount this some way, I'm tired of carrying it in my truck or whatever?
Yeah, because beforehand I just had ratchet straps holding my spare tire and the tank on the back, and everyone kept on complaining, saying it kept on like jiggling when I was on the logging roads, and they were scared it was going to go flying at them.
Valid.
Yeah, so I decided to make that video.
Yeah, check out the video, and then it's like, a lot of times people will rush into these things, but if you actually had a need, which was that tank, and you're like, I ain't spending that much money or whatever, make my own.
But honestly, cool. I wasn't even planning on making that video. The video I had planned that weekend fell apart. I went out with a bunch of guys that didn't understand we were filming a YouTube video, so they weren't really into it, and they started complaining to me I was taking up half the day filming, so I just said, screw it, went down to my buddy's place and made a propane tank mount holder.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, if you need something, that DIY stuff to me is just awesome. Especially there was a guy in the Facebook group who made It was like a full rifle case, Pelican case. He made it with a single burner stove, and then on the right he had an actual sink, plumbed water. Did you see that? It was like
I think I did,
cool.
yeah.
And like he posted it, and there was like, I don't know, within hours, like 1,000 likes and a bunch of comments. And I forget his name, but that was an excellent DIY. Clean. I mean, it looked like some high end, thing that he just made out of random parts. But it's like, that's a good idea, and it's all enclosed, so you could throw it on your rack or whatever, and then use it. But I like the creativity I see over there. It's pretty fun. And then some of it's kind of stupid, but some of it's like really helpful.
Yeah, I've seen some really ridiculous posts on that group.
Some janky stuff. I'm like, I don't want to go with that guy. But some of it's a joke, I think. Some people post stuff just to get a funny, a couple laughs. That's fine. I do that stuff every once in a while. It's just hard to do in your own group when you created the rules on you can't make fun of certain things and all that jazz, but I don't know.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
I mean, another good way to start saving on like an overland bill is to start a YouTube channel, because companies will reach out to you and give you free crap.
Let's talk about that. So I've noticed a surplus in people wanting, and I've been in the quote unquote overland scene since it's been called overlanding for 4 or 5 years now. And I've seen an uptick, obviously with popularity, but I've seen a lot more people wanting to do the Instagram or the YouTube simply for the gear. And there's no wrong way. I mean, that's fine. If that's your jam, that's a cool, like a perk or a bonus.
Yeah.
We've got sponsors and affiliates too, which is fine. But there's some people that solely just want to start for the gear and stuff. And they're like, they've got 20 subscribers and they're reaching out to like huge companies like, hey, we got a YouTube channel. You send us something, we'll do a review on it. Which I'm not bashing those people. They're go-getters. I like it. But that's not how it works. They want to see numbers. They want to see...
I don't know, man, because I didn't think I was going to get like affiliate links and sponsorships from companies at 2,000 subs, but here I am. The most recent one, the video that's going to be released this Saturday on my winch review video, that company sent me like $2,000 worth of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe their marketing budget's bigger. I don't know for some, but like, it's not that difficult. That's a big ticket item. But like just for smaller stuff, even just for an affiliate link, who knows? But I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting that more and more people are kind of getting into it. And I don't know if it's just me just from an outside perspective looking in, like I could kind of tell if someone's legitimate, like an overlander car camper versus someone who just wants the exposure or just wants the free gear or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
well, I guess it also boils down to like how good your content is, because they can always use your videos and your social media posts to promote it on their own social media and their company. On the company websites.
Yeah, because they're probably not going out camping every weekend either. Or even if you got full-timers out there doing it, they're always cranking out content.
Every week.
So that's good. What is some advice if somebody did want to start a YouTube channel?
Just hit record.
Just hit record.
Just hit record, because your first video is going to be trash no matter what. You're going to look back at it in the years like, why did I even make that video?
Truth.
You just have to hit record and go from there. You live and learn, right?
Yeah.
See what works, see what doesn't. Anyone right now can start a YouTube channel just by using a cell phone. That's exactly what I'm doing on how I edit my videos and film. It's all done on my cell phone.
That's awesome. I would agree with just record. Don't think about it. Just record and do it and upload it, and you'll get better and better. Especially if like the more trips and the more times you do it, the better you'll get. Because whenever I started, I was a what do you call this? Whenever you just use pictures, you just upload pictures and then add the music. That's all I did. And then I started doing little short clips here and there. And then I actually started showing the journey, like the trip I was on, and stuff like that. But I'm still working on it, but it's funny to go back, 2 years ago and see your first stuff. You're like, holy smokes, how embarrassing.
Yeah, it's still up there for all to see.
But some people like it still, like your grandma, maybe. Good job. That's funny, though. Yeah, just go do it. Another thing I want to talk about is like, are you a foodie? Do you care what you eat? Or do you
I don't really care what I eat. Like before last year, I'd always go and like bring steaks and salads and a whole bunch of food that I would not normally eat during the week. And then I got sick and tired of like prepping and cooking in the woods, so I'm just bringing hot dogs now.
Really? So you're gonna get tired of hot dogs real quick.
Well, I guess I'll switch back to steaks in a month.
Correct. So like for me, I'm experimenting for myself versus when I take my wife and my son with me. I'll try anything. So like I like the frozen food meals you can get in like a bag or whatever.
Yeah.
And you could double those as like your breakfast meals and your dinner meals. And then like for lunch, I always do like a sandwich or maybe a pizza Lunchable or something. But I'll always do like a peanut butter sandwich maybe for a lunch. Because if, you're out wheeling and stuff, you don't know what time you're going to eat lunch and you don't want to fire up the grill. But
yeah, who knows? You might be like sideways on a hill trying to winch yourself up for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to eat? All right. The easiest thing's a peanut butter, sandwich or a peanut butter jelly, whatever you want. But I was going to pick your brain on that, see what, your go-to meal is or whatever. If you got any hacks on your food prep or anything you want to share with the listeners.
Well, if any of the listeners want to watch, like did a whole cooking episode with Spam, that was a good one. No.
So I watched a little bit. I need to go back and watch it for like the whole way through because I think I was kind of turned off by the Spam because I'm not going to eat Spam. But maybe watch you eat it. Sure. Have fun. That's funny. So what's something else you want to talk about? Budgeting maybe for your build. Don't jump all in there. What else can we do with that? How did you decide that you wanted to make a cover for that? What do you call that?
Canopy.
Tell them a canopy. Tell them what your rig is.
All right, so the rig is a 1989 Toyota Land Cruiser, right-hand drive from Japan. I specifically wanted that model because it comes with the inline-six turbo diesel from Toyota for that year. And if the listeners are familiar with four-wheel drive 24/7, Sean on their channel has the Dirty 30. So the build is inspired by the Dirty 30, which is a 60 series Land Cruiser chopped in half, turned into a pickup, flat decked on the back, and then you have an aluminum canopy with all your camp gear inside. So one side's a full kitchen and the other side's storage.
Very cool. And it looks killer too. It's like kind of retro meets, modern, but to me it looks like a freaking obviously an import, but it looks like, an Australian buggy or something you'd see out there.
Exactly.
Or something.
The only downside with this rig is the brakes suck. So if I'm going up a steep shelf road and all of a sudden I can't turn around, it's going to be a really stressful 30 minutes backing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now, did it get, obviously this is a stupid question, but whenever you had the canopy on there after you built it and put it on there, were you considering like all the blind spots, or is there that many blind spots?
I mean,
you see,
I used to drive a cube truck for like 10 years, so I'm used to having all those blind spots.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to like back into things like a Chinese lady and hope there's nothing there.
Okay, so you were kind of,
but yeah, it's like if you do this, like I'd highly recommend getting a rear view camera so you can actually see if you're not comfortable backing up a cube van.
Yeah,
because it's basically what it is. It's just a mini off-road cube truck.
Yeah, and it's removable though, right?
It is. Yeah, I'll be like this coming weekend. I'm throwing a party near my house here in the woods for the local VI Toyota 4x4 group. So nice. I'll be like showcasing the canopy coming off the truck properly, because it's all like wheeling tracks around there, and then the main campsite's down by a creek.
And you've got your rooftop tent, or do you have a rooftop tent?
Yeah, the rooftop tent's right on top of the canopy.
What is the tent, by the way? Is that a Alu?
No, it'd be the same as a CVT wedge tent, but this one's rebranded from a Canadian company called Capit.
Okay.
Right, because basically every tent's made in 3 factories in China, and they're all rebranded depending on which company orders them.
Really?
Yeah. So you could buy a wedge tent off of Alibaba for like $1,000 instead of paying the $3,000 to $4,000 the companies want to charge you over here.
Yeah.
It's the same tents.
I've heard of that, and then I've heard it the other way too. So I don't know. I understand that probably most of them come from China anyway, but
every single
the
one.
rebranded stuff. I've seen the rebranded stuff on what is it? The King Camper or the King pop-up tents or whatever.
Yeah.
They're from like Australia or something. And their version 1 you could buy still from somewhere. I don't know where, but I know you could buy like their version 1, and because they don't sell it anymore. I think because there was some issues with something. So anyway, King went away from that and redesigned a version 2 or version 3 by now.
Yeah, you mean that like giant tent that's bigger than a California king bed?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's just a giant wedge style that just pops up like it's not a clamshell. It's just one that wedges up. But
okay.
It was one of the first ones that, I've seen, and that was, years ago. But anyway, I understand like they've got a surplus or something to where you could go a discount place. I don't know. You have to go through a dealer, I've heard. But like I said, it all comes from China. So whatever. So that'd be wherever I was rabbit hole going here. How do you like the rooftop tent? I know you guys, some of your buddies bash them all the time, or make fun of them.
It's because they're too cheap. Well, the one guy, I don't think he'd be able to climb the ladder or probably break. But I don't know. Like for me, I prefer the rooftop tent because I've tried like camping inside of sleeping inside the truck. I've tried a small little overland trailer, which is great, but also really bad if you're going down a tight quad trail and you need to like pick the trailer up and move it around a tree if you don't want to bash it. But specifically for me, like the rooftop tent makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I highly suggest.
Yeah, go ahead. You do suggest rooftop tents?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I do too, and we've talked about this, or I've talked about it. Like trailers are good for like base camping, in my opinion. If you're going to like just have, like a home base or something while you're out exploring or wheeling or on a longer trip. And the rooftop tents are just easy. They're just, super easy, a couple little latches, boom, you're done. And, ground tents and stuff, there's nothing wrong with those either. It's just if it's raining really hard and you're in a puddle.
It's a matter of opinion. Every single time I've camped in a ground tent, I get soaked.
Yeah. And I think it's just on your preference and the different, I always call it we're on different journeys, so like your opinion on certain things will change over time. If you think something's stupid now, just keep doing this thing and you might be persuaded. There's a couple items out there I'm still not persuaded, but the rooftop tent was one. I would go with the rooftop tent for sure. They're just easy.
They are super easy. Mine takes like 10 seconds to pop out.
Mm-hmm. And tear down. No one wants to tear down in the morning. Well, that's equally as easy.
Super easy. I can leave my bedding in there too, so it takes like 30 seconds to put it away.
Yeah. You got any big trips coming up?
I'm not sure. Like I'm going to be going out every weekend, and my new work schedule is 4 on, 3 off, so I get basically a long weekend every weekend. So I can go anywhere.
Are like you planning to go a long distance trip?
The only long distance trips I'd be doing this year is if Sean from Storytell Now or a few other guys from Vancouver contact me to go out over there. But other than that, I'll probably just stay on the island and do some content over here. Since my truck's so old, I'm kind of scared to bring it over to the mainland just for the viewer understand, I do live on Vancouver Island, which is off the coast of BC. So when I refer to mainland, it means I have to take a ferry over there.
Yeah. And you said that could be
But
a
yeah.
process.
Yeah, it can definitely be a process when the truck breaks down, just like what happened when I went out with Sean, because I was about 200 kilometers plus a 2.5 ferry ride from home.
Mm. Did you trailer it? How'd you get it home?
I just engaged the front axle and I just drove it back home, 2-wheel drive front.
Oh gosh! So the rear end was still in there, just rattling around.
Yeah, but it was completely chewed up regardless.
Yeah,
it was a full rebuild.
What gears are in that thing, or what stock gears versus what you got in it?
So it still has the stock ones from Japan, but it did come with 411, so I can go up to like 37s, no issue.
Nice.
I currently have 35-inch tires on it.
Yeah, I like those old Toyotas, man. They're so cool. I wish like we could get those stateside, like the 79s and all that stuff. The truck,
yeah, I really
even, those are so cool. But
I really want a 79 series, but I think I'm just gonna have to buy a Gladiator.
Everyone, why is everybody going to a Gladiator? Let's talk about this. I don't know Sean, but you do, and there's a couple other people out there that just absolutely went full blown Gladiator. Is it because there's a truck bed?
It's the platform, right? So you get the extra room as opposed to a regular 4-door Wrangler. So you get the cab space, and then you get a 5.5-foot box in the rear. So you can put a topper on there, like a Go Fast camper, or just a canopy with a tent on top, and you gain so much more room. The downside with a Gladiator, you're basically wheeling a trail limo. Yeah, I think they're like 20 feet long.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys bob the Gladiators. I don't know how much they're taking off, maybe 17 inches or something. But anyway, they're bobbing them. So I don't know. Why would you pay for a truck and then shorten the bed? I don't know. I'm just not a Jeep person, so I think they look cool.
It's a Jeep thing. You wouldn't understand.
I don't, man. And they're still getting ducked left and right. So,
well, ideally, I want a 4-door mid-size pickup. And the only thing I would want to buy would be a 79 series Land Cruiser, but you can't buy a new one in North America, which is the downside. You guys have to wait 25 years for the chicken tax, and I have to wait 15 years for the chicken tax.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have this one imported, this Land Cruiser, or did you work through a dealer or somebody?
No, it was the owner before me was the one that bought it from a dealer. So he bought it in 2004 when it got imported into Vancouver. Cool.
Yeah, like you said, the stateside, like 25 years and older, you can import pretty much anything. But what's cool is I know a lot of military guys, because if they're stationed somewhere, and I might get corrected on this, but if they're, let's say they're in Japan or Germany or whatever, they could import like one vehicle back on, the taxpayer's dime or in the GI bill or whatever, which I think that's how a lot of the Hilux come back. The older Hilux come back to the States. So that, and there's a lot of import, guys too, that dealers and brokers.
Yeah, then Whistling Diesel buys all the Toyota Hiluxes and just destroys them on his farm.
Yeah, that makes me so angry. But, yeah, you got to do what you can for the viewers. The watches, man. You got to get those watches.
That's right.
Watchers. Speaking
about ridiculous YouTubers, you heard about that guy that purposely crashed his plane?
Okay, I saw some article or something about it a couple days ago. Tell me. Yeah,
he made it sound like he had a malfunction in the plane, that the engine quit. It was a Cessna, a small single prop plane. And instead of trying to glide the plane back to the ground, he jumped out of the plane. I can't remember at how many feet, but he was high up there in the mountains, and he parachuted out of the plane and let it crash. Whoa. And now that guy.
Sheesh.
So now he's facing up to 25 years in jail for purposely crashing an aircraft.
Holy smokes. What an idiot.
Yeah. Influencers in the wild, man.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so I was just thinking like he took a picture of it crash somewhere. I didn't know he like jumped out of a flying aircraft.
Yeah, he filmed the whole thing. It's on his YouTube channel. He was wearing like one of those GoPro head mounts, right? So it's like first person view of him jumping out the plane crashing to the ground.
That's so stupid, but it's hilarious that people are going to those, links just for I don't know. I guess you're making money. It got to be a big channel to do something like that.
Or just really stupid and go to jail for it.
Yeah, people are just... Well, what's funny, though, I was telling my wife this. I was like, there's channels out there with 200,000 to 300,000 subscribers. And, for the most part, most YouTube guys are really humble that I've met. They're ecstatic that, they're able to do this full time. And then if you really go down the rabbit hole of YouTube, there's hundreds of these channels that are like over 200, 300 subs. It's insane. Like,
yeah,
the amount of different content that is happening. And a lot of people are just like watching Overland or off-road videos or whatever. It's like, go out there, go down that rabbit hole. There's a lot of cool stuff out there.
There is. Everyone and their dog has an Overlanding YouTube channel now.
I think that the Instagrams are all funny because everyone adds the Overland tag to the end of their name or something, which that's what I did. Budget Overland. It's fine. It's just, it really rubs people a lot.
Yeah, I did it twice. Overlanding Overland.
And I think, I don't know, if you read, I don't know. It is what it is. I think some people might go into other Overland style content and they try to compare it to like, was it X Overland? Like a real high production, a lot of people feel like those are the only kind of YouTube channels that need to
Expedition
exist.
Overland, where they're filming everything in like cinematic with the Ronin DVIs.
Yeah. But I like their style, but I also like people with like my channel, which I'll just do a cell phone and whatever, capture the little moments. But I don't put a lot of editing as much as you do, because yours are a lot more polished, in my opinion, for just a cell phone. Like it blows my mind to see how the quality comes out and the effects and all the cool stuff you add to it. It's like way better. But that was just an example of the high, production versus the low, and then taking it up a notch from the low, just with what you got for now.
Yeah, it works.
I mean, but you're putting a lot of hours into it.
Oh, it's too many hours. Between my day job, editing, and going camping and filming, I maybe have 10 hours of spare time during the week.
Sheesh. How many minutes, like, how long of a video do you shoot for? Do you plan to do them like 15, 20 minutes?
I'm trying to get up to like 20, 25 minutes, but I hate dead space. I hate when if you can cut the dead space out, cut it out, because it's going to make it more engaging and hold retention longer.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to get to that goal, but I always try to make sure my videos are 10 minutes plus, because that way I can get my mid-roll ads.
Yeah. That's
and
pretty good. And
yeah. So I'm always trying to figure out how to make my videos longer without losing engagement.
And they're just like, it's like 20 minutes of gravel roads with a dashboard cam, and that's it.
You know what? Maybe I'll do that for my next episode. That's what we're missing here. I'll make sure my thumb's in every shot.
Yes.
I'll make sure it's completely blurry. That'll make a great YouTube episode.
And quit putting so much time into it.
No, I'll just all unedited, just put everything in one episode, upload, done.
That's horrible. Anyway, maybe that I'm going to start paying attention to that, because I think it shows like on each channel like how old they are, doesn't it?
It does, but mine says it started in 2009, but I only started uploading in 2020.
Okay. Okay, so I'm sure some of those people, maybe if they've been, dropping a video every week from the beginning or once a month or
But you can
something,
always see like what year their first video was uploaded.
You can see that?
Yeah, you just have to go to their videos and then scroll all the way down.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, I think supposedly we're at about a 45 minute mark. And I think we actually talked about some interesting stuff this time around.
That's right.
Not a lot of dead time other than me. I don't know if it was my internet or what, but that was so goofy. Anyways, what do you want to tell the world out there in listening land, podcast listening world?
All right, listeners of Budget Overland. I'd like to plug my channel. If you want to watch some high-quality, funny Overland content, go over to Overlanding Overland on Google search, and you'll be able to find all of my links. I'd also like to plug in my buddy's YouTube channel, Crimson Off-Road. He just started out, but I'm helping him out to make sure he gets to where he needs to go. So Crimson Off-Road.
I'll put his link too in there. That way, if guys want to check out both of them, they can. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
All right, Colin, I appreciate you coming on, man. And it's Overlanding. Over space land. It's a play on word, kind of funny. So Google that, go to the link, do whatever.
Or do it on YouTube. If you forget to put a space in between, it still pops up.
Good. It's funny how that stuff works, spelling and everything. It's weird.
Yeah, grammar's hard.
All right, brother. Well, we'll do a checkup here in a few months and just see what you've been up to and say hello again.
Sounds good, Benji.
All right, brother. I will talk to you later.
Later.